September is Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month. If you were with us a couple of weeks ago, we talked to Olympian Shannon Miller, who talked about her own journey with ovarian cancer. And we want to take this to the local level and see what is happening around our communities here in the Carolinas and what people are doing to advocate and bring awareness to ovarian cancer, as well as her own story. Shannon Routh, now Teal Diva, I'm going to call you Teal Diva.
Thank you.
Is here in the Live Impact studio joining me this morning to share her own experience. And Shannon, let's just start with that. Your story with ovarian cancer. How many years ago did you get your diagnosis, and what was your experience like?
I was diagnosed 16 years ago. I'm very proud of that. I was diagnosed when I was 32 years old. I had never heard of ovarian cancer. I knew one person who was 95, and I was 32, just shy of my 3-year wedding anniversary, and I thought, how did I get the older lady cancer? And so I started doing research and trying to find something in our community, and there really wasn't anything. But to back up, how I was diagnosed was I was traveling abroad and having just cramping that felt just different than my normal monthly period. And I chalked it up to traveling, eating different foods, and just,
Sure, that'll make sense.
Yeah. And when I got back, just the symptoms progressed and went throughout the summer, and got so bad it would just send me to my knees. And so that's not normal, obviously. So I went and had, I went to my OBGYN, and they did pelvic examination. Now, I had a history of polycystic ovarian syndrome. So PCOS is what it's called. So it was not a big deal for me to have issues with cysts on my ovaries. So that's what they alluded to, was that, okay, you've got an enlarged cyst, let's go to surgery, have it removed before it bursts. And so that's really where it started. And then I remember waking up from surgery and asking, do I still have at least one of my ovaries? Because then that meant that there was potential for us having kids, because we didn't have kids. And they at the time were like, yes. And I was so relieved. And then 5 days later, pathology came back, and it was a very aggressive form of ovarian cancer, and they had to go back in and do a radical hysterectomy like 4 or 5 weeks later.
Oh, wow. So,
yeah, and then I started chemo after that and did 6 rounds of chemotherapy. Yeah.
You talk about it like it's like, oh, yeah, okay, this happened. I mean, with time, you've learned a lot, and you've talked to other women who have had similar experiences themselves. And, what I'm sure each experience is different for everybody, and what do you say to them? And how did you, besides the shock, once that settles, how do you move forward?
I think number one is holding space for someone. Whenever I am around anyone and they're newly diagnosed or they're in the thick of chemotherapy, it's raw, it's painful, and all of those emotions are new and they're real. And so I just get down on their level and I just hold space, and I just, and I'm careful with the words that I use because as you said, every person's experience is unique to them. And so I want to be careful and not just say like, everything's going to be okay, or you got this. Those are nice cheerleader things to say, but,
meet them where they are.
Right. And some people don't, that's not where they are.
Right.
And so I just read the room, basically, and get down on their level. And if I feel like they need the cheerleader, then I'll roll into that. If I feel like they need someone that's empathetic and compassionate and really just, by nature, I'm kind of a bold person in the room. But if they need me to be a softer tone or a softer version of myself, then I can I can work
go
on
there
that too.
I like that though. Hold the space. Hold the space where they are. You're wearing teal today. It is Tuesday. And I like that we talked a little bit off air here saying that it's Teal Tuesday. And you've got a lot of teal going on with your group. Tell us how now you are using your voice for a community that you yourself said, 16 years ago you were trying to find information out there and there was really nowhere to go to.
One of the most frustrating things that I found out upon being diagnosed was that there's not an accurate screening test for ovarian cancer. So we as women, we think when we go to the OBGYN that we're being checked, all the boxes are being checked for whatever, for breast cancer, cervical, all of it.
Right.
And so to find out, I had been actively going to the OBGYN, and to find out that I wasn't being tested, and I wasn't being tested because there is no test, was pretty alarming. And I thought, as most anyone diagnosed, when that sits in, you're like, well, wait a minute. What can I do there? And so immediately you want to get plugged in. And so a part of my personal advocacy is educating young women, because I think that a lot of the material out there is, you see women with gray hair as the marketing feature, and you don't see yourself. And so we take an active role with college universities, speaking to different sororities, and we're, by the way, open to do that with anyone at any university, but just trying to have that conversation. And what we learned is some of these young women don't even know what a pap smear is, so having to change your role there too, to make sure that you're not speaking over their head. They're looking at you like a deer in headlights. So we simplify our message and just start bringing in terms that need to be known at a younger age.
Right.
And so I've gone to DC to advocate on behalf of ovarian cancer. The reason we call it Teal Tuesday, it's just a little fun marketing thing, but it's a nationwide advocacy effort. It's Teal Tuesday. On Tuesdays we wear teal, and the idea is throughout the month or whenever you want, you paint your nails or your toenails teal, and when someone says, oh, I love your shirt, as we girls do when we're walking around, I love your shirt, I love your earrings, I love that color on your nails, it opens the door for us to talk about an uncomfortable topic. And we say like, oh, thank you. First of all, I got it at and let me tell you why I'm wearing it, and then you just do a little quick plug about ovarian cancer. So, but yeah, we try to, like I said, go educate to the younger generation, and then to the community.
Yeah, I mean the message and the teachings are real basic. We're starting with a pap smear. Right, when you should be going for a pap smear starting at a young adult age. So that is where it starts, is to get these regular exams.
Just to pause on that for just a second.
Please.
Those regular exams don't include a test for ovarian.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
They
will
wild. Press on your ovaries.
So if I were someone, here's what I say to someone who's really like, well, wait a minute. First of all, the symptoms mimic what we as women face every single month, which is easy to dismiss and oftentimes is dismissed. It's bloating, pelvic pain, sometimes eating too much and feeling full, a change in your urinary frequency, lower back pain. I mean, raise your hand if you haven't had that. If you're dieting, you're drinking more water. And what woman doesn't want to feel full while eating less? We have those all the time. And so if I were standing in front of someone who was genuinely concerned, I would say, hey, listen, you know your body better than anybody. You and God know your body better than anybody else. Would you agree? And
yes,
of course. So then when that pain is just a little different, and it's something different than you've ever experienced before, and just something doesn't feel right. Your body will tell you when something's wrong. Yeah. And so then it's okay, make a note of that, and then if that goes on and it's persistent over 2 months' time, you need to reach out. And then when you go to the doctor, if you're not feeling heard, go to another doctor.
Right. Right. I mean, and this is what we're saying these days is you have to advocate for
Yes.
your own health, no matter what the issue is, whether it is those cramps or something else, or whatever it is, you have to voice for yourself. And it can't be the doctors checking off something
Right.
that they're required to check off. You know yourself. And so, the referral or the second opinion or, any other voice or aspect of your own advocacy. So that, for sure, is something, is a takeaway we can
Yes.
have for our own health. But, so Shannon, sorry. So you were dealing with your own stuff and then taking it to, you got to know that ovarian screenings is not part of an annual
Right.
exam with
That's
your
correct.
OBGYN.
So I will tell you this, if you were to go in and ask for something, what we do have something, but it's not reliable, which is why we say we don't have a reliable screening test. There is a blood test called the CA-125, the CA-125. It's a blood marker, but it is not 100% accurate, meaning sometimes your stress level or foods might elevate that and it be a false positive.
Okay.
But there's other women who have had stage 3, stage 4 ovarian cancer, and their CA-125 level
Looks
never
fine.
moved. Right? So it's not an accurate level. But for me, they did a transvaginal ultrasound, which is an ultrasound, that goes inside you rather than on your belly.
Okay.
And then they did the CA-125, and it still didn't detect a tumor. It detected a growth on my ovary, which they related to a cyst.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. So as we are now in the middle of September, Teal Diva,
Yes.
you're in the middle of several events this month, right? How can people get involved? If not even for this month, but just get involved and, maybe we know somebody, a family, friend, or a coworker. How can we get involved?
Absolutely. So Teal Diva is a local nonprofit born in the Carolinas. I started it on my 3rd chemotherapy out of a need for hope. And that's primarily what we try to do, is bring hope and community to those of us diagnosed with a cancer that is not often talked about. And so we want to parade around in our teal and be a voice. And so this month we have an event called A Mile for Her. This event started because a friend of mine was diagnosed, she was going through ovarian cancer, and she was in remission and was training for one of our local 5K events, the Teal Diva 5K. And she got about a month out from the event. Her name was Amber. She got about a month out, and she was training on a trampoline. And she had lost 100 pounds and had almost gotten up to 3 miles, and her cancer came back. And so we did a call out to social media and said, everybody walk a mile for Amber and post about it, and we'll make sure she sees it just for hope and encouragement while she's going through treatment. And then it morphed into a part of our 5K events. We have a whole 1 mile section of the event where it's dedicated to any woman diagnosed with a gynecologic cancer, whether she's still with us or whether she's passed on. And so it's such a celebratory and somber kind of part of the race, but it's so beautiful. We wanted to give it its own space. And so throughout September, we're doing a virtual challenge called A Mile for Her. We ask you to commit 1 mile. And listen, you can do it in the grocery store, mowing your grass. You can walk it, run it, bike it, hike it, swim it, paddle it, row it, jump it, however you want to do it. You choose your challenge. All we ask you to do is commit at least 1 of your miles to, whether it be your mom, and maybe these women aren't even diagnosed, but it's just the awareness factor of the women in your life. We all have a woman in our life, everybody. So, and it could be for someone that you've known who's been diagnosed, or someone that you don't know and you're just raising awareness because you love her. So we're asking you to do that. The registration is only $10. It's not $10 a mile. It's just $10. And there's an opportunity for you to add swag if you want to do that as a part of your registration, but it's a virtual challenge. We're trying to get every state within the United States as a part. We're missing 22 states.
Come on.
As of today. So what our goal is by the end of the month to turn the U.S. teal, basically.
There you go.
But yeah, and then you just record your miles. You can record them daily. You can record them weekly, monthly, whatever works best for you. And you can record if you want to go out and do a 1 mile bike ride and then do a swim. You can record them as each activity.
Great.
And then at the end of the month, we have a celebration. We want to celebrate all the hard work we've done throughout the month of September and through our Mile for Her, and just celebrate one another and honor one another's space. And so we are partnering with Culinary Dropout in South End, and we're hosting we're a Teal Tap takeover.
Oh boy.
I know. It's going to be great. The Culinary Dropout has been amazing to partner with. I think some of their staff is going to show up in some teal.
Great.
They're doing a discount for food that you order as a part of the night. And they're doing some drink specials where they are honoring Teal Diva with those drink specials. So we would love, you can RSVP to that on our website, on the calendar.
Okay.
You can also sign up for Mile for Her on our website.
The website
it's tealdiva.org. .org, yes.
Okay, tealdiva.org.
We have a gala also in November.
Got a lot going on.
Yes, November is our big fundraising gala. It's the Teal Diva Gala, and November 15th. So there's more information on our website about that. There's resources on our website that can give you a lot more details that you can download and share. There's all kinds of ways to volunteer, plug in. If you're a survivor, you can get involved. We just did a survivor photo shoot a couple days ago, and we just want to celebrate one another and walk with these women and talk and just say, hey, listen, don't forget to live the life you're working so hard to fight for.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. All right. Shannon Routh, tealdiva.org. Carlene is already starting her
my
Mile for Her.
I signed up for my dear
Carlene.
friend Spencer, who is going through her ovarian cancer battle, and she sent it to us, it was a couple weeks ago. I was like, hey, do this. And I do try to walk, daily anyway with my dogs. And now I just do little longer walks to the Whitewater Center the weekend.
Fantastic.
That's awesome. To try and,
Thank you.
Yeah,
get extra steps
give
in.
attention
This
and
is
give
important.
love and awareness.
Yes.
And dedicate that mile.
Yeah, we're collecting 9,583 miles for the month. We're a little less than halfway completed, so we do need people to sign up and help us. And why that number, it feels like just a weird number, but it's the average number of women diagnosed with a gynecologic cancer each month. And so we want to kind of honor that, which is how we came up with that number.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for coming in, Shannon.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Thank you for having
your
me.
message, all of the energy and awareness that you bring. tealdiva.org. We all know a woman. Dedicate something to her. And maybe you have a few hers that you can walk those extra miles for. All right. We will take a quick break here on Live Impact News on WCNC+.